is extremely unusual. A Met Office red warning, and it covers South Wales. A very dangerous weather situation in this part of the world. There is a danger to life.
Our storms are coming, the tension rising. The elements are harsh, its reality is harsher. The wind destructive, overwhelming. The rain, persistent with its goal, can be devastating. And yet somehow captivating. Watching from the window, somehow it's calming. As ever with every yin, a yang. The calm before the storm, waiting for the second wave. Unpredictable, mesmerizing, hurricanes, whirlwinds, magicians or warriors. This storm will come and go, but only true champions weather the storm.
Time to find a winner. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to the 2020 Welsh Open final. Storm Dennis causing havoc across the country, so we hope that you are safe and dry at home, and we hope that those who've battled through the wind and the rain to get to the Motorpoint Arena will have a day to remember. We've got a final that few might have predicted, and two men each hoping to get their hands on this trophy for the very first time.
It's been a fantastic couple of weeks for me. I've beaten some fantastic players in Cheltenham and now in Cardiff, the 147 as well. It's just showing me that, you know, the hard work is paying off. I'm playing good snooker to beat these guys, and yeah, obviously enjoying it whilst I'm doing it as well.
Absolutely thrilled to be in the Welsh Open 14 years after my first attempt at winning this great tournament. It would be an absolute thrill to lift that wonderful Ray Reardon trophy.
Sean looks to be back to his best. I believe he's number 2 on the one-year ranking list, you know, which is some feat in today's game. He's been there and done it, Triple Crown winner. He's going to be a very tough test in the final.
Well, I think Kyron's the man in form this week. He came here on a great run from the World Grand Prix. He made a maximum on day one, taken out Ronnie O'Sullivan and others. You know, he is the man to beat this week, so, you know, nothing but my best will do.
It would mean an awful lot to lift the Ray Reardon trophy. I always love this event, never done any good here. If I could go on to win the title after having a maximum and, you know, the way I've gone about the tournament, it would be amazing. The most important thing is to enjoy the snooker.
This is what we play for, you know, as a child. This is, you take the game up and you dream of winning. No one dreams of coming second or third or fourth. Everyone dreams of lifting those trophies and taking them home to those that are dear to you. And I'm 37 and I'm no different.
Yes, two fairly surprise contenders for this trophy. The former world champion Shaun Murphy against the world number 8 Kyron Wilson. And it all started for him with a 147 maximum in his first frame of the tournament. But he had a big scare against the Welshman Jackson Page. Had to dig deep to win that one 4-3. And then he knocked out 3 former champions in Ding, Neil Robertson with a whitewash, and Ronnie O'Sullivan in the semis. And as for Murphy, well, 2 of his victims just stood right next to me. He started off with a 4-0 over Darren Morgan. He beat Dominic Dale in the last 16. And his most impressive win came against the world champion Judd Trump in the quarters before he beat Yang Bingtao in what was an epic 4-hour match last night. And here they are, the aforementioned Dominic Dale and Darren Morgan. Very good afternoon to you both. I mean, I guess we've got here the former world champion Shaun Murphy and a guy who probably dreams that he will be one as well one day.
He's certainly got the capability, Kyron Wilson. He's a very hard worker on the game. He loves the game. He puts snooker first in his life. And he's a tremendous player, great long potter, heavy scorer, and he's got a lot of belief in himself.
In terms of Shaun Murphy, Darren, someone that people feel should have won more in the game. He was world champion 15 years ago. Should he have won more?
Well, Shaun says, you know, as well, probably people think he should have won more, but it's the way he's played the game over the years. You know, he loves playing attractive snooker and attacking snooker, and I think he's realised he's had to change his game slightly if he wants to compete and win more events.
We had that epic last night. What was it, 4 hours between Murphy and Bingtao, finished at midnight, if you were watching that with us. I mean, how will that affect? I mean, Wilson was finished by 5 o'clock in terms of stamina today.
Yes, exactly. I spoke to Kyron, actually, as he was practising ahead of this final, and he said he didn't watch the final, the semi-final last night with Yang Bingtao, Shaun Murphy. I think that match, it was a 4 1/4 hour battle. drudgery at times. It was difficult to commentate on, and I don't think either player enjoyed it. I just wonder if that could have taken a little bit out of Shaun Murphy this final. If Shaun starts well, he'll be fine, but if he's playing catch-up all the way, if he's 3-1 down into a 4-2 down, it takes a lot of mental stamina to try and come back from that.
He was listening to music up in the practice room, Kyron Wilson. Wouldn't tell me what he was listening to, but it's time to get the players out here at the Motorpoint Arena. And your MC for the day, for the final, is Alan Taylor.
You, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The very last match of the Home Nation Series. It's the final of the ManBetX 2020 Welsh Open in the Motorpoint Arena in the city of Cardiff. Please welcome a player who once again shown his class, compiling a timely century in the deciding frame very early this morning. That's to reach his 21st ranking event final. He is a former Masters, UK and World Champion. He's the magician, Shaun Murphy! And his opponent. Also going the distance in his semi-final, this player proved he has the mettle to go all the way, starting the week as this maximum man is a 3-time ranking event winner. He is known as the Warrior. It's Kyron Wilson!
So who will be the first champion of the decade at the Welsh Open? It is the 2020 final here in Cardiff, and your commentators are Terry Griffiths and Willie Thorne.
But these two are great players, seeded number 8 and 10 in the world respectively. Kyron Wilson on a run, has already been mentioned, had the 147 in his very early round. And Shaun Murphy, well, anybody that wins a Triple Crown is obviously a true champion. Hard one to call. Obviously, Shaun Murphy had a late night last night. Kyron Wilson looks totally refreshed. But the final, the adrenaline keeps you going. It wouldn't surprise me if it went into the last couple of frames this match. It could be very close, Terry.
Yes, well, Kyron
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Earlier.
The first frame.
Didn't he, Stephen?
Shaun Murphy to break.
Shaun Murphy didn't finish till 12 in the night. He must be a little bit more tired. He's having a look at this long red. He didn't turn many of those down. He gets most of them as well.
One.
It's a good start. Good pace as well. He's on the black.
Yes, excellent opening red. I'm not too sure whether there's two reds together there, whether the left one of the two will pot into the same pocket as the black. He obviously doesn't think it does, otherwise you wouldn't be looking at it into the middle. So he's just got the wrong angle on the black. You can never tell when you're playing a shot at distance like the red whether you're going to finish totally low or totally high. But it's a great pot. So he's playing for this red in the middle, on the right hand side. If it's straight, he can just screw back for the black. If it's not, a little bit of work to do with the cue ball.
8. Kyron Wilson, 8.
Well, we were right behind that all the way, weren't we? And I thought that was definitely going off the 4 jaw. Usually when you play a shot at that angle, the red goes past the pocket, but as you can clearly see, it stayed on the pocket.
One.
Well, there were lots of loose reds there, but Sean, as most of the top players do these days, like to get in the balls immediately.
5.
And they've split perfectly, but the only problem with the easy red that he's got on, the black's not available in the opposite corner. He's got that nice easy red nearest the pocket, but the black not available, but the pink's available in the middle. He's
6.
perfect on the pink, so as soon as he gets rid of that red to the left of the black, chance to score very heavily. Still has the same problem, and I think the pink's going slightly out of commission now, so maybe had a
12.
stun around the back of the black and just play the black into the same pocket. So he's got to be played through the gap of the black and the red. Well, he's played round the back rather than through the gap, but still perfect.
13.
Be interesting to see today, Terry. These are the two of the best players I've ever seen with the rest, and it'd be so important how many great shots I play with the rest from these two. I thought Sean was the best player in the world, but I've now suddenly thought that Karen Wilson is the best with the rest.
20.
Just see how many they part with the rest instead of just give them a rest every shot, would you? Would it be exciting, wouldn't it?
21.
Doesn't have to do too much now as far as the bringing reds into play, because they're all in the open apart from the
28.
three behind the pink. So you can certainly win the frame without going into those at some stage.
29.
I've mentioned comments a few times. Sean Murphy, one of the game's great break builders. If he has an Achilles heel, it's just when he gets to 40. Sometimes he's 40 or 50 points in front and then misses an easy one. I guarantee one thing in the top with the top players
36.
today, he's lost more frames after making a 50 break than anybody else.
37.
Well, I don't know quite why he stayed down as long as he did, but first bit of work to do. Needs to play with lots of right hand side. The three reds to the left all go in the opposite corner, but they don't go in the left hand corner. May decide to play into the three reds. This is not guaranteed to go perfect, this. His body language tells me
44.
that the red he's just kissed into there, the outside of those two will still pass the reds into the corner. There you can see it does.
$45. $52. 53.
Yeah, to hit that with a bit of power to move the white down for pink or black.
$59. $60. $66. $67.
It's good effort here. Be nice to see him make a century again in first game of the final.
74.
After he's made a century in the last one last night. To win 6-5.
75.
Looking very comfortable out there.
Red on the back cushion is
81.
no problem. Obviously the red on the side cushion. With him being right-handed, he may not decide to play to bring it into play. He could
82.
drop behind it. But normally players like to try and free that, so he'd be plotting red, then try and get on the half-4 black. And with the half-4 black, try and move the red out.
89.
Been a beautiful break, hasn't he? Not played one bad positional shot. And he hasn't
90.
got the half-4 black. Now can he screw directly into the red? That's what he's going to try and do. Oh no, he's dropped behind it. Beautifully played.
97.
What a wonderful break this has been.
98.
As Terry mentioned, a 100 break to win the match against Yan Bingtao 5-4 at about 11:45 yesterday evening. And in the first frame of the day in this final, started with another century. First class.
103. 105. 108. 'Sean Murphy.
Oh, what a shame, no
108
clearance,
on the
but
frame.
Sean Murphy would be absolutely delighted to get a foothold in this match so early. A beautiful break of 108, and he takes the opening frame and leads 1-0.
Before 1 o'clock last night, Sean Murphy with a century start. Welcome once again then for the final time this week to our studio in the corner of the practice room. And when we got up here, look who's here. It is the man who lost to Sean Murphy last night in the semi-finals. He's back to practice today. That's impressive, Darren.
Look, unbelievable. I got a boy that plays in my club, and at the moment he's #1 on the challenge tour, and he lost yesterday, first round, so he had an early bath, and I phoned him earlier on the way down, and I said, what are you going to do now today? And he said, I'm going to take a couple of days off now, and just shows you the difference between amateur mentality and professional mentality. Yan Bingtao, on his birthday, be very disappointed he's not in today's final, and bang, he's on the practice table. That's what you call dedication.
Happy birthday to Yan, if you're listening. Have a great day. As for Murphy, who Bingtao lost to last night, I mean, terrific start by him, the 71st century of the tournament, helped by a Wilson miss, first of all, Dominic.
Yes, he missed this red into the right centre pocket. This is a very tough pot, I have to say, especially early on in the final. And that did everything that set go in. And that's the problem for Kyron there. It went so close to going in, it stayed right over the pocket for Sean Murphy.
And then we're going to see this, Darren.
Yeah, brilliant. Brown, you know, like last night he'd have played that and he'd have been on nothing. It just shows you the difference between 2 days. But, you know, Sean Murphy, due to the fact he had such a fright last night, and it was, you know, it was a long, hard, drawn-out affair, you always knew he was going to come out and play well today. You know, that was on the cards, that was.
You often find that, I guess, don't you? Where we were saying, would he be shattered after last night? You know, and he was saying, well, if you're not up for a ranking event final, however much sleep you've got, then, you know, you may as well not turn up. I mean,
well, that's
you're
true.
just going to be up for it, aren't you?
But if you've endured a 4 1/4 hour match, you can't help but be a little bit tired. I mean, he's played fantastic there, and he did in the deciding frame against Jan last night. He played in a similar fashion. But, I mean, if Sean were to go sort of 3-1 behind or 4-2 behind, it's a different thing. It's mentally very challenging to try and have to recover that deficit. But when you start off like that, it's much easier.
Yeah, what did you say last night? A match for the insomniacs, I think, wasn't it?
It was.
It went on late, but it's been great to follow the journey of these two players this week, nonetheless. There's the trophy they're trying to win later on today.
So, Kyron Wilson just potted. Got 8 points in the first frame, and he's sitting down there now after this break. I'm not quite sure if Sean will go for one of these. The one in the middle looks the best. Left middle. No, a bit unlucky here. Oh,
Foul.
very, very unlucky.
Kyron Wilson full.
I'm just thinking he wouldn't have a ball on. Well, he's lost the white now, and Kyron's got a chance of a long pot. Don't think he'd be, the black's not available. He may have to run through. If he hasn't got that angle, you play a safety. Well, he decided there was no future in that long pot. Hadn't played a great safety, but he's covered the reds on the right bottom pocket. Murphy's taken on this pot. Oh no, he played safe as well. Doesn't want to make any more hundreds.
Well, there's a red available into the middle pocket, and he may be able to play this red as a shot to nothing. He can just roll it in dead weight. Okay, he may leave a pot on the red that's on the complete right-hand side of the table. Decided it's too risky, so the angle is not quite right. So trying to get in behind the yellow again, or the big green, but key thing is to get the cue ball tight on the cushion. That's what he's done.
Well, he's going to the side of the pack. Perfect judgment of pace and anger. Excellent. What could have gone wrong with those reds just below the pack? So we haven't had many mistakes so far. It's framing a bit.
I thought it was almost certainty getting behind the yellow there because it was touching ball. And Sean will be pretty relieved when he heard touching ball. I'm sure he felt, well, I'm going to be tight behind the yellow. And this red may pot. I think you can just about see enough of it. It's very tight, but I think you can see enough to pot it.
One. Five.
Similar scenario to the previous frame where the black wasn't available into the left-hand corner. Not too sure whether the pink's available in the left-hand corner. He's just coming around to have a look now. If it's not, he can easily screw up for the blue. Yeah, clearly available. So pink or blue's no problem here.
Six.
The three reds above the black, he'd like to get onto the top one of the three high, so he can just play to get onto the black into the same pocket. And he's finished high, purposely.
12.
He plays on and off the cushion. The red's in the way to be perfect, so he may have to go around the back of the red. Well, he's not hit this hard enough. That's
13.
Break. That's a very poor shot from Sean.
Pink ball. Sean Murphy, 13.
He'll be disappointed with that positional shot, but to be very pleased with the snooker. May get another chance now from Chiron. Same shot as short played, I think, into the side of the pack. It's okay. Sometimes you can slip past those reds and leave a red on, but he's okay this time.
So I'm going to swing it round to try and get in behind the yellow again. This is going to be very close.
Not behind the yellow, but it's still a difficult safety to get out of. Two reds on the right are stopping him going up to the block area. He'd have to play a very thin cut. Looks like he's playing as if he'd be snookered. He's not snookered, of course, but he's going into the side of pack. There's plenty of room there for him. Very good. Good stuff.
He's unlucky if he's left it touching, which he has. So he'll be right behind the yellow again. I'm very impressed with both these players when they beat two of our major stars in Ronnie O'Sullivan that Karen beat and Judd Trump that Sean Murphy beat. Both played beautifully against those two great players. It shows you the class of these two. thought Karen Wilson was superb yesterday against Ronnie, because Ronnie was really up for the match. Ronnie needed the points to keep his seeding and try and get into the Coral Series final leg, which is the top 8. Now this is the first long pot he's gone for a while. First lance, no damage done. I thought Sean against Judd Trump was equally as good as Karen against Ronnie. Could play that quite comfortably. The only really could leave on was the one he's going for. In saying that, he's still going out of the middle. What a beautiful shot. What a great shot. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball here. The natural, as we see this red go in again, he can just roll the black and he's bound to kiss into the left hand of the 2 reds and bound to be on the one in the right hand corner. All he has to do is concentrate on the pot. Nothing to do with the cue ball, it'll happen itself.
Eight. Nine. 14.
I didn't think he'd be on the colour there, but he's got this red here. Got a chance to pot that on, get on the colour.
$15.
Oh, it's second chance of making a big break again in this frame.
$20. 21.
$37 points in front, so there's a good chance here to win the second frame.
$29.
Karen Wilson has got 12 points on the table. And Murphy's got 157. So at the moment he's certainly dominating this match. It'll change as it goes along.
Well, there's one word to say about Murphy's performance so far: flawless. Absolutely
44.
flawless. Been in total control. Cue ball on a string. And in 2 shots time,
45.
the second frame will be on the board.
$52. 53. 60. 61. 68. 69.
I played that nicely. Got a chance to come off that left cushion there and onto that red.
$76. 77.
This is just awesome, isn't it? Chance for back-to-back centres in the opening 2 frames of the final. Can't get close to the yellow because the middle pocket's there where he would get right close to the yellow. He's trying to... Oh, poor shot that. Perhaps should have gone past the middle pocket. So there won't be 2 centuries on the trot.
84. Sean Murphy, 84 on the frame.
Didn't get the century, but he'll be happy enough. 2-0 now to Sean Murphy. And Karen has been sitting down in his seat for a while.
Yeah, he was 2 down last night in his semi-final against Yang Bingtao. So Murphy in a better place, a better start, and a quicker start as well. Just well, I mean, last night we had what 52-minute frame, didn't we? I think the average frame time was 24 minutes. It was a real grinder. But I mean, this is good stuff from Murphy. It's hard to pick any fault with it so far.
Fantastic start for Sean Murphy. What a way to start a world ranking event final. Surprised slightly, to be honest with you, because...
Are you?
Well, I am, because he was still here having photographs taken about 1 a.m. this morning. Goodness knows what time he got to sleep. But he seems as fresh as a daisy, and it's very impressive. I didn't expect this from Sean at the beginning of the match.
Let's go into it. Bit of analysis and Darren. The miss by Wilson here kind of helped, didn't it?
Well, it wasn't an easy red, but, you know, he got very close to it, and he played, I think, well, even if I miss it, I can't leave anything. And it looks like he's getting away with that, and he's not going to leave nothing. And then Sean Murphy digs a red out into this left centre, which is just unbelievable. It's beautiful shot. And obviously he's gone on to win the frame for it. But it's quite funny how we look at things differently. I look at it slightly different to Dominic, that I always thought that Sean would come out today, all guns blazing, knowing how tight it was last night. And to be fair, he must have thought he was out last night because he was dead on his feet.
Yeah.
He has had a long night. He's had a couple of hours sleep and what have you. This is a final. He's back to his fluent best there, you know, and that's what he excels in, when it's nice and fluent. I mean, his average shot time last night was something like 30 seconds, somewhere silly like that, whereas he's normally around about the 20, a little bit under the 20, a little bit over.
17, the average shot time at the moment. I mean, it might have been. It's not.
It was 28 at the beginning of his semi-final yesterday, but it did come down to about 23 at the end.
It came down in the end, yeah. It might have been a bit of a wake-up call for him last night, mightn't it? You know, to have gone close to going out, and he's come here today, thought, right, put the tiredness to one side, I can get through this. I've got this opportunity to win another ranking title.
Yes, this is exactly the sort of snooker he always does play, Sean Murphy. I didn't know he'd be on top form the way he is these first 2 frames so quickly. And it's going to put pressure on Kyren Wilson now. These long pots that Kyren takes on get more and more difficult to make when the pressure's on you.
Kyren Wilson must be a little bit bemused at how good Sean Murphy's played. But we know what a great player he is. Eight frames in this opening session. So already Kyren Wilson will be... I mean, obviously he can go on and win the next 6 frames, but he'll certainly be pleased to be no worse than 5-3 behind. That's what he'd be thinking now. Just stay in the match. You can't win the match in the first session, but you can certainly lose it.
He's rolling up pure dead weight. Dangerous. There you go.
Foul, a miss. Sean Murphy 6.
Hit the pink about half ball, I think.
Well, that must have rolled off terribly, surely. Couldn't possibly hit the pink there. Oh, I can see his face, he's totally bemused. Okay, this red will cut in. Well, how on earth can he hit the pink there? Well, in fairness, he got so close to the yellow, so it must have been tight.
Back. Greg, just help me out, please.
He needs a bit of help here, the referee. The balls, a few balls moved. There's Greg in the markers part in the engine room. Yes, getting the balls set up in exactly the same place, hopefully. Colin Humphries, of course, is the referee officiating today's match.
Any of the reds move?
Yeah.
See, it's not so important about whether the reds move or not, because that's not making a lot of difference. It's just the key thing is getting the
other side.
The red on the left-hand side and the pink back in the right place.
Up that way?
Yeah. About half a ball. And slightly to the left. Slightly to the left. Fraction more up. Okay. The red of the two
That's
together.
the freeze frame.
Yeah.
That's not too bad, is it, really?
Forward.
The cue ball needs to go half a ball to the left.
Forward. Bit more. And to the right. Tiny bit more.
So the important ball is the cue ball. That's the one that's going to be moved.
It's forward, fraction. The pink, forward a fraction. The pink.
Pink.
The pink ball, yeah. Forward a fraction. Tiny bit more. Tiny bit more. Just a little bit more. Okay. Just the cue ball now.
How's the white?
That's the most important thing, the cue ball now.
Half a ball. Half a ball. And towards me a fraction. Towards me a fraction. That's it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, guys.
Well, let's see if Kyron's going to play the same shot, and we're directly behind the line now. We can probably almost see whether it rolls off.
Are you sure that red's right?
Just want to check that red again.
A bit higher?
Yeah.
No, he's right. The red does need to move slightly to an inch further, well, half an inch further up.
Look right to you.
It looks okay.
On our freeze frame, it's not, but I don't think it makes any difference. It's a case of look how tight it is to get through that gap of yellow and pink. Now will we get a chance to see whether it rolls off this time? Well, that kept absolutely true, didn't it? Kieran may have put a bit of left-hand side on. That kept perfectly true.
Had to make sure of covering that red with the yellow. Could have gone wrong. So the first two frames were quite open with two very good breaks from Sean Murphy. But they don't come every frame, generally. Very quick frames. There's only 6 points on the board now for Sean Murphy when Kieran Wilson hit the pink, but been paying for over 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes for 6 points. We used to be like that, Willie.
It's magnificent, isn't it, this Motorpoint Arena, when it's down to the one table situation. Been great crowds this week. And luckily we had probably 7 of the top players in the quarterfinals, which is unusual when you consider we're playing best of 7s in the early rounds. This red's close. Now is there a way? That's a massive pocket now, isn't it? Is there a way of playing a red onto it? I can't see one at first glance. Or in off it, I meant to say. He's just having a look now whether he can get through to this red. If he can, you're playing off the other red in the baulk pocket. And that's exactly what he did. But I think he's gone just too far to be able to pot the blue. If he snooked on the blue. And he may be angled on the green. The brown he can see, but he doesn't want to be playing that. That's very unlucky.
Brown ball. Sean Murphy, 1. Yeah.
I thought that was the wrong shot there. You should have played a safety.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Terry, why would you push the boat out when you're 2-0 in front? Kieran Wilson's not had a shot at the table. Just, okay, play the brown, but leave the white tight on the baulk cushion. I think that stat's just going to be obliterated. He's going to pot this without a problem. Now, he's not even been in the match yet, and if Kieran could somehow manage to win a frame at one visit, Sean Murphy will be kicking himself having to go at that brown.
First good chance for Kieran.
6.
Scored very heavily yesterday against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
7. 12.
Well, he's going to be pleased to get his hand on the cloth. He's been sitting there for a long time.
13.
Got to be patient.
The red that's loose at the outside of the pack, I mean, that's the natural angle. You want to go straight over that red. I mean, ideally, if he wanted to play a cannon, he would do, but it's too dangerous, so he's going to have to play to leave himself a little further away from the black than he wanted to.
20.
Could have done with another 2 or 3 inches. The middle red of the 3, that'd be the one to play into. Just push through that, because the one to the left of it pops into the corner. There's every chance he'll be pushing red over the middle. Doesn't have to play this too firm. There's the red is on. And push one over the middle as well, so this is a good chance now to score heavily.
27. 28. 35.
We'd have preferred to kiss on the brown than go drift past the brown. As you can see, it's hampered. Good recovery.
36. 43. 44.
Both of these players blessed with an awful lot of cue power, so those little screw shots are no
51.
problem at all. Oh, the angle he's got on this red, if he plays it plain ball, should be okay for the black. Just on and off the cushion. Decided to play a stun run through that. If he left himself straight, that's a poor shot. Yeah, it's not good, this. Been an excellent break of 52 so far, but where does the next red come from? That's the reason he's having a look at the pink. No, this is not easy. He's playing this with a little bit of disappointment because he hasn't got the right angle on the black. And whenever you play with disappointment, that can happen.
Karen Wilson, 52.
But is it his turn to be a little fortunate? 52 should have been more, and Sean can get through to this red. That lead could disappear very quickly.
1.
Yeah, he played this, like I said, with disappointment that he wasn't on the black properly. Sure, a little bit unlucky with his previous shot. He's played to hit the red half ball and move it over the middle. The fact that he hit full ball, it just pushed it, as you can see, into a safe position. Now, does he try and pot the pink and bring the other red into play? It's not easy to get on and off the cushion where the brown and red are, with all these 3 reds clearly available in the left-hand side. You might as well play the kiss on the red that's safe, because to find the gap is not easy. That's what he's done. I know it looked risky, but it didn't have many options. Now if we can avoid the kiss on the green in potting this red in the middle, the white will be back in open
7.
play, and a chance to get right back into this frame.
Eight.
That could be good news and bad news. I mean, bad news, he pushed a red, what looked to have been a safe position. Good news, it may be a plant. So it's just a case of keeping all attention on the colour, either the pink or the black. You get directly behind it, you can't miss it. It needs to be straight on it, or this is a good shot. If it misses the jaws, it's perfect. Oh, what a shame.
15. $16.
Could have done with being 6 inches further to the right
23.
to make this unmissable. If it was in the line with the green and not the where the white is now, you still should manage to get this plant though.
24.
Now, no problem with the next, as we see the plant going again, no problem with the next colour on red. But off the red he did angle on the half ball blue or the half ball yellow to be able to move that red into play. I mean, he'd love to get on the yellow half ball.
30.
Half ball yellow is
31.
the way he's played it, and he's played it absolutely perfectly. Couldn't have put that white in a better place to move this red out. Not great.
$33.
Looks as if he can cut it in the middle. He's having a look at it anyway. Good pot, but
34.
position's no good. Maybe worth a touch up to the black here. Touching ball.
Yeah, I think so. Terry's right back in the frame now. Is it worth the risk potting the black at pace into the middle? I think I'll agree with you. He played one careless shot a little earlier on when he was right in the jaws of the middle pocket and attempted a very, very difficult brown. He's just itching to take this pot on, you can see that. Now he's playing the snooker. Very nice break of 34 there, where the balls were.
Foul, the miss. Sean Murphy, 7.
7. Maximum you can get.
Can you just check the black for me, please, Greg?
It's good these referees and can get the ball in the right place after a miss. It's very handy for the players and also the people watching you today.
White ball's forward, fraction. The white ball.
I think we get the two involved. I mean, he's going to play the same shot of 2 cushions, so it doesn't make any difference where the black is, really. That's where it was. That's where it is. Maybe the white needs to come a fraction back towards him.
Yeah, you okay?
White ball's forward a touch. White ball's forward a touch. Just a little bit. Forward. The white ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Karen can see the same cushion as he played now, can he?
Okay.
Yeah. You okay with that, Karen?
I don't think you can see the cushion, so it can't be right.
I'm playing the same shot anyway.
You're okay with that, Sean? Thank you.
He feels he can. Very good. Now how's his luck? Well, Murphy will be taking this on.
With the rest. He never misses with the rest, you tell me always. Both these players are very, very strong when they're using the rest. Oh, he doesn't need it. Better still.
2.
Just stroke that in, didn't he? No pace at all. Get the pocket a good chance then, isn't it? Yeah, so look, he's just touched the left knuckle, but still went in. And then this is the big shot. Can you get on the brown?
5.
With the rest. It is perfect here now. He's playing the rest. He's knock the brown. Get the blue and the pink is available. It's change round after that 52 break there that Karen Wilson had.
9.
Oh, one-way traffic at the moment, isn't it? Karen will be kicking himself that he played that poor positional shot when he finished dead straight on the black. Just one shot away from making it 2-1. All of a sudden, somehow Sean Murphy's got back into this frame, and now he plots the pink. He wins. Oh, you're kidding me.
14.
Wow. Sean Murphy would be horrified if he's not got on the pink. That's so much margin of error. And that's what you get with Sean sometimes.
14.
He just has the frame in total control and just plays a careless one.
Karen Wilson will look at a cross double here. He plays them quite a lot. Into the right top pocket. If it doesn't go in, he'll probably still get it safe. Oh, good attempt. Always worth a go at that one, because the white's coming down the table and the pink's staying up there. He's had another go at it. And not so good this time. He almost got the white into this bottom cushion as a foul, and Sean Murphy can pot this ball. It's not an easy one. He's 10 points in front, he just needs the pink.
Got to be very careful of the knob in the top corner. Played it nicely, and that's a frame that he knows that he's been fortunate to win, but played very, very well. Kyron Wilson in trouble very early in this match. He trails by 3 frames to 0.
Final, he's made a very good start to this one then, 3-0 up after that rather tense finish there, Dominic and Darren. You know, I guess it was one that could have gone either way there, couldn't it?
Well, the thing is, right at the start of the frame, you know, it looked like Sean Murphy was in. I mean, that blue there to the pink, that was just a total miscalculation. It's because it's a new cloth and everything. It's come off that back cushion and it's just slid over on a club table. He'd have still gone past the pink, but it was a funny sort of a frame, that one, because at the start he went for a crazy brown, really, which they said in commentary. He's in total control of the game. Obviously, from that brown, Kyron Wilson's got in. He's had a 52 break. And then he's played a real dodgy pink into the left centre due to his disappointment on the straight black, finishing straight on the black. That was a big shot in the context early on in this match, you know. Sean Murphy's got back in the frame and he's pinched it.
Yeah, a bit of a Wilson wobble there. Is he showing a few more nerves than he did yesterday?
I don't think necessarily it's that. It's the fact he's playing Sean Murphy. He's played 2 tremendous opening frames. He's 2-0 behind. There's a lot of pressure on him now. So potting balls like that pink become all the more difficult. And Sean is playing so well out there. It's got to be said. He needs to be commended for his performance here, because he must be shattered after last night. But you wouldn't think so by the way he's playing there today.
Yeah, as you said, he didn't get to bed until, well, certainly not before 1 o'clock.
No.
And he will be tired. We'll see how his stamina is as the day goes on, but no issues with that so far. 3-0 in front, and let's go back in.
A lot of work to do for Kyron Wilson now. But unfortunately, to be 3-0 behind, I think. But we've played very well so far. Ray Reardon, he's visiting here today. Very nice of him to come up to. I think he's from Devon. That's where he's living now, and he's going to give the cup to the winner this evening. 6 times champion in the world.
And we have a lot of gratitude to Ray to have been one of the people that made the game so as popular as it is. The likes of Ray Reardon and John Spencer had an awful lot to do with the popularity of the game. He looks fit as a butcher's dog, doesn't he? He was not very well apparently a few weeks ago. He looks very fit at the minute. What a player he was. Great pot in a frame that he feels he must win to keep it on Sean Murphy's coattails.
Whoa. 3. Four.
Just have to work on the pink for a moment, and that's no problem. 4 reds, another 4 reds and 4 pinks will give him a sizable lead again, but the 52 wasn't enough in the
11.
previous frame. The red to the left of the black will pot in a few shots' time, and you can flick the red away. That's the right-hand side of the black. So still pink or blue only at the moment.
17. $18.
I think you screwed that. I'm not sure, but he probably played for the blue. Yeah, I'm looking now about those 2 reds by the black. I'll try in there to hit the pink and open the reds. Just trying to get on the black.
23.
So the pink is still available, so it's not too bad. And the blue.
Well, he could play the kiss off this red as well, but it'd have to be perfect. He doesn't want to kiss into the black as well. Yeah, well played.
24.
I think the black spot's covered, but I think the red might still be available when it goes onto its own spot. Kieran's trying to work it out now. The black will go directly beyond its own spot as near as possible without touching, and he's just trying to work out now whether the red will still pop when the black's replaced. If it's not, he needs to play for another red just in case if he's not sure. Well, that tells me he feels that the red's still going to be available. So as near to its own spot as possible without touching. And the red will be clearly available.
31.
Done a good 52 break in the last frame, but didn't go further than that.
32. $38.
Well, he's looking at the 3/4 ball angle on the pink, and I think he's got it. He can bring these reds into play now. The harder you play this, the wider the white will throw, and he could lose the white towards the left-hand side cushion. So I'd be playing a gentle cannon here rather than a firm one. Yeah, that was the problem. It's always going to go that way if he played it hard. Just a bit slower. He got a slightly thicker kiss.
45.
Looks like it's end of break unless he's thinking of clipping this in, but 45-point lead. He wants to try and put a red save forward. He's always gone for the clip. But played with a shot as a shot to nothing.
Karen Wilson.
52
45.
wasn't enough in the previous frame. Will 45 possibly be enough in this frame? Remains to be seen.
Pretty good there. There's one long one on for Kyron, but there is only a few inches off that left cushion. I think the black goes past that red. I'm not sure. Into the right corner. Yeah, it does. He plays those with pace all the time, which gives the pocket less chance of taking the ball in. But I suppose that's what he likes to do.
Well, how costly is that going to be? Because that red's come right back into an easy possible position, and that 45-point lead will disappear very quickly. Sean Murphy, one good cannon, is favourite to win this frame. The standard these days, you know, 40 breaks and not enough. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Sean Murphy won at this visit.
8. No.
Wanted to be higher on the pink, but he'll have to play for the loose red this time. Now then, it's all about getting a good angle on the next black. If he doesn't have a good angle, he'll put the one on the back cushion. If he has a good angle, he'll go into the bunch.
15.
So run round 2 cushions, or do you deep screw for the blue or pink? Whatever he feels is going to leave the best angle. From that position, it looks like the run round 2 cushions, but looks like he's just standing on off the cushion.
16.
Just for a change, that's 7 out of 7 with the rest. Can only play for the one on the back cushion this time. Essential not to finish straight on the red. And the angle he's got on this red, he's bound to leave a half ball back angle from the black. He can't do anything else but do that. So just concentrate
23.
on the pot. Position takes care of itself. If this shot goes right, it's 4-0. If it doesn't, Karen Wilson could have one more chance.
Hello. What's it trying to do there? Jump over the ball, I want. Try and put it right down side on to move the red into the pocket, but I don't think so. The ones in the middle is the best. And even that, he's bridging over a red. Oh.
32.
Almost came out there, didn't it? Now then, can you get past that yellow and brown? That's the problem.
Slight problem with the score, as you may have seen, but that's not a problem. We'll get that arranged for you at the moment. The score at the minute is 13 points behind is Sean Murphy. Is he playing the yellow to screw down 2 cushion? Goodness me, this is aggressive. If the yellow had been on its spot, it would have been easy to play the blue, but the fact that the yellow's off its spot, he's going to swing this yellow around 2 cushions to try and get in these 2 reds into the right-hand corner. You can almost feel his brain working there. Is this the right shot? If it goes in, obviously it is. Brilliant. Just a fraction too hard though. He'd be so disappointed having put all his eggs in one basket there not to have got onto this red. Still cuts. Still 11 points behind. Very well played indeed. What a body blow this will be again for Karen. Not beyond the realms of possibility, it could have been 2 each, but it's every chance now. It could be 4-0.
$40. 41.
Once again, that's not great. I mean, Sean does this all the time.
48.
Gets the frame and then he just plays a careless position. It was such an easy positional shot, that. Well, this is missable. If he plays it in the corner, it's missable. If he plays it in the middle, it's missable. Looks easy from that picture, doesn't it? Not from that picture.
Sean Murphy, 48.
Karen Wilson must have been sitting down a few seconds ago thinking, I'm 4-0 behind. He may still be, but he's been given a lifeline for that terrible positional shot on the black for the last red. Well, at this moment in time, Sean Murphy is 6 out of 6 with the rest. This is the most important one he's played in this match. because it was the most important one, didn't come close.
Hold on a minute. No, he hasn't. I thought he's fluking in the middle now. So both players not so good at the moment. They're going to get times over a long match, especially with the importance of what this match is, the Welsh Open. Two cushions.
Foul on this.
And hit the black.
Sean Murphy, 7. Miss, yeah. Black first, yeah. 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 Back, yeah.
That's very kind of him.
Just red, yeah.
Yeah, Sean thought he'd hit the red first there, so he just asked the referee, but Karen, being the gentleman he is, just acknowledged the fact that he did hit the black first, and quite clearly we'll show you here he did hit the black first. I mentioned earlier on in commentary, you can't win the match in the first session, but you can certainly lose it. This is huge now for Karen Wilson, this frame.
Yeah, call this fade is not working well. Okay. Left a bit more. Yeah. Left a bit more. Okay. And the red.
Red as well.
More. Half a ball. Forward a fraction. And left more.
Red.
Yeah, left. Tiny bit more. Tiny bit more. And towards you a bit more. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And towards me. Tiny bit more. Okay.
Yeah. Okay with that. Sure. Thank you.
Oh, that's better. Well, he's hit the red, but Sean Murphy can see this red. Got another chance to try and clinch the fourth frame. He's still thinking he's missed one shot with the rest. That's the problem. It may put him off, will he? Here he comes. More misses and pots at the moment.
Yeah, very close, wasn't it? Karen Wilson is also excellent with the rest, but this is like Sean Murphy's previous shot with the rest, a pressure shot. Can we keep the cue action perfect for this rest shot? If it does go in, it goes favourite to win the frame. Yeah, it's amazing that they don't miss a ball with the rest of these two, and all of a sudden when the pressure's on, they've missed two easy balls. Well, not easy balls, but two pressure pots. Is this another tempter for Sean? Beautiful. Beautifully played. It's all about position now from pink to yellow. The fact that the pink will go on its own spot. Not hard enough. Oh, it is just got there.
7.
Now is the blue in the way just to play one cushion? $17 in front. Yellow-green puts him 22. Played it 2 cushions and played it to the inch. To the
9.
inch. It's going to be 4-0 now.
$12.
Kyle Wilson's made a break of 52 in frame 3. Perhaps felt he should have won that frame. Made a break of 45 in this frame. Perhaps thought he should have won this frame. But the scoreboard's going to tell him he's lost all 4.
16.
I didn't see this coming. I didn't think we'd see. Thought this would be a really close match. It may still end up being.
21.
But apart from a couple of shots, Sean Murphy has been flawless this afternoon till this last frame.
27.
He'll be absolutely delighted the way he's done. Very well done, Sean Murphy. He goes into the mid-session interval for that 15-minute break. He'll be very happy with what he's done so far. On the other hand, Karen Wilson will be very disappointed. It's 4-0.
Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you again very soon. Dominic and Darren obviously staying with us for the second session of the afternoon part of this 2020 Welsh Open final. Let's rejoin our commentary team, Terry Griffiths and Willie Thorne, with Sean Murphy leading 4-0.
I don't think I've ever enjoyed an interval so much. I mean, 2 great interviews with Karen Wilson and Sean Murphy, and then the legend that is Ray Worden. Really in-depth conversation there with the boys in the studio. Absolutely first-class Ray was, and an absolute gentleman on and off the table, and one of our game's greatest ambassadors, and we're delighted to see him here. On the other hand, we talk about him hitting at the ball. A few seconds ago, Ray was saying he hits it too hard, some of the long pots. It's hard to criticise, but once again, hit that hard, hit it thin, and all of a sudden, first chance to Sean Murphy. It's funny watching the match last night with Yang Bin Tao. Sean had a ridiculously bad run of the ball in the opening 2 frames. Everything that Jan did went right, everything that Sean did went wrong. Totally different today, though.
1.
And once again, the ball's in prime position for a large lead in this opening frame of the second session. Playing the slightly more difficult red just to leave the pink in play, and he's missed it.
Sean Murphy, 4.
He just tried a pinch a little bit there to make sure he finished nicely on the pink. He's concentrated more on the kiss there than the pot, and because of that, Missed it.
One. Eight. Nine. Sixteen. 17.
Cameron's aim coming into this second session of this final was to win it 3-1 of the 4 frames they're going to play in this best of 17 final. If he can come out of this session 3-1, be only 5-3 behind, he won't be too concerned because he knows he could have maybe should have won 2 frames of the opening 4. On the other hand, Sean knows that if he can get out of this maybe 6-2, that's all he deserves the way he's played. He's played very well indeed. Karen Wilson, of course, is nicknamed the Warrior. He'll need all of his battling qualities to get back into this match.
31. 32. 38. 39. 45. 46.
'A little bit too straight on the pink, that's why he's had to leave this red slightly more difficult than he wanted. Break goes to 46.
52.
Can he get the another 30 points he'd need to make this frame safe? Oh dear, that nearly
53.
bobbled, hence the position on the cue ball hasn't worked. Played to get on the half ball blue. Nearly missed this, hit it thick. Didn't have a good angle on this yellow. Now will he play behind the red on the baud line and to leave a choice of 2 reds? That's what he's played. And played it perfectly.
$55. $56. $58.
Just make sure you pot a killer carrying off this next red. To leave Sean Murphy needing a snooker. Could do with potting the blue.
$59.
Be a little bit disappointed that's rolled through too far. Okay, he'll be 60 in front with 59 on after potting the blue, but he'd love to pot another red to keep Sean Murphy sitting down. If he misses the red, Sean Murphy will play for snookers. $60 in front, 59 on.
64.
Well, it's an excellent break of
Adam
64,
Wilson,
but it may
64.
not be enough, but it should be.
He gave a smile anyway. He's been doing that for a while now. If anything goes wrong or balls he misses, he just smiles about it. It's a good thing to do.
One.
Sean will hope one of the three reds stays in a similar position to what it is now. So at least then he can just play the snooker behind the pink, and it has done. That red nearest the pink spot, that's the one he'll leave last, and then he'll play the snooker in behind the pink. So this frame is still very much alive.
8.
That split couldn't have worked any better. He doesn't want to be moving the red. He's just having a look now where he wants to finish after
15.
the next black.
Can't be devastated if he loses this one again. He's at a 64, 52 and 45 break, and he's well in front, and he's lost 4 frames, maybe 5 now.
One thing Karen Wilson does know, sitting down in his chair, that he's going to be snooker when he comes to the table. It's just a case of how bad will the snooker be. Sean will be trying to make sure the cue ball was virtually touching the pink to make him
23.
come off the black cushion first rather than off the side cushion. That's perfect.
Sean Murphy, 23.
This is not easy to hit.
Foul. Sean
That's a
Murphy.
snooker, he can
full.
now win. 33, so he needs the pink or black off this last red. Now, if he can cut this in and avoid the jaws of the middle pocket, he may well play it, because he can get onto pink or black. But that is going to come very close to the jaws of the middle pocket. It's not a case of hitting, it's a case of not leaving a pot on this end of the table. He'd love the red to go back up into the ball carrier, but how does he do that? That's why he's looking at the more difficult escape. Rather than one cushion, he's looking at two cushions so he can leave plenty of distance between balls. See, one cushion.
Yeah.
He didn't particularly want to leave a long pot on for Sean. Remember, he needs pink or black. And that was the problem, you see. Playing it that way, almost bound to leave a pot on. One good pot. You can just screw across the face of the black and leave a choice of pink or black. You can play for both colours here. And Terry mentioned a few moments ago what a body blow this would be. As a matter of fact, you couldn't see him coming back from 5-0 behind, especially if he loses the frame in such a way as this. But a reprieve. It's amazing when you're in form, isn't it? How everything goes safe when you miss, and when you're out of form, whatever you do, it goes over the hole. This one has got to be played firm. Screw off the side cushion, loads of check side. Try and get under the black into the same pocket. You'll have to commit to this full out to get the bite on the cue ball. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant shot.
One.
Brilliant shot. How well has he hit this? Played that shot all day, you couldn't hit it better than that. Karen Wilson, a wry smile. It won't be a wry smile in a minute if he pots these 6 balls.
Eight. Ten. $13.
Can only sit and hope. And when I say hope, he's just got to hope he doesn't get the right angle on the blue. That's his last possible chance. And this is not the right angle.
17.
It's possible to finish wrong angle on the pink here. Sean just having a little nod and wry smile. Now, do you play 1, 2, 3 cushions to get on the pink into the left-hand corner? Or do you screw it in one cushion to play the pink in the right-hand corner? He's not sure which one he wants to play. He's looking at the 3 cushion escape. Sorry, it's not escape, 3 cushion pot. Well, he's played it 2 cushions.
22.
Not absolutely perfect. You can't finish straight on the black, but you can certainly get very close to it.
28.
It's been an amazing match, isn't it, for Sean Murphy? I know he's been the better player, but it could have been so different. Very well played, Sean Murphy. He needed a snooker in that frame. Kyron Wilson made a break of 64. It wasn't enough again. Sean Murphy goes further clear. It's 5-0.
What's a lead that is? 5-0. Terrific stuff for Sean Murphy. That's a big chasm, isn't it? 5 frames.
Oh,
try and bridge.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the way that Kyron's lost that frame, Sean Murphy could have made a century break, but psychologically, that's far more damaging to Kyron Wilson. This is the red he missed. I mean, he's safe at this point. He's wobbled this red. It's stayed right over the corner. And the minute he's left that red there for Sean Murphy, you begin to be concerned because Sean knows immediately if he comes back to the table, pots a red and a black, dislodges the 3 reds as he did, there's going to be one of those 3 reds remaining behind the pink spot to snooker in behind. And I'm sure Kyron Wilson, Darren, would have known coming back to the table he's going to have a tough snooker to escape from.
Absolutely. I mean, Sean Murphy didn't actually play a fantastic shot, but I mean, Kyron Wilson just made a terrible ash of it, really. And at the moment, he'll be thinking, what's he got to do to win a frame? Because it looks like he's got 3 frames in the bag, and somehow all 3 have got away from him.
Yeah, and Murphy, I suppose, knows that he's got a margin for error as well, a little bit of wriggle room. You know, the pressure isn't that intense, is it, when you're 5-0 up? I know you've got to maintain it, but...
Sometimes you establish such a big lead, you stop thinking about forging ahead and you're just thinking, well, I'm waiting for this guy to do something and catch me up here. And you start being a little bit, I wouldn't say negative, but you suddenly start being as brave and as courageous. You know, you stop playing the way that's got you to that 5-0 lead. And you start thinking, OK, I'm not going to take these shots on now. I've got this guy where I want him. And then all of a sudden, you know, Kyron now, there's no pressure on him, or there shouldn't be, except the fact he hasn't won a frame yet. And he can't win a frame, can he? You know?
What I do think as well, Sean would have, like Kyron, would have come into this and they would have said, right, at the end of this session, at worst, 4 each. And either player would have said, I'll take 5-3. Well, Sean now has achieved that. He's took his 5 frames. So everything now is a total bonus for him. He knows now he's got a massive advantage to press home. Like Willie said earlier on, you can't win the match in this session, but you can lose it.
Yeah.
And this is dangerous times now for Kyron Wilson.
8 frames in this session this afternoon. Before we break, let's see what Wilson can do. In frame 6, pressure really on.
He's having a look at the red in the right corner. Go back up towards the balk line, get a balk colour. Needed a kiss and got one. It's all right on the yellow. A bit thin, but just looking where you can go with the cue ball to get the next red.
Yellow ball.
I didn't fancy it.
Sean Murphy, 1.
It's a good one.
It's just the point that Dominic was saying in the in the studio just before. All of a sudden now he's trying to protect the lead. If that had been the first frame in the match or the second frame in the match, he'd have either took the green in the middle or he'd have tried to cut the yellow in. The fact that he's got a 5-0 lead now, he's trying to think, well, if I can get out of it 6-2, 7-1. That's the first negative shot he's played. OK, both shots were difficult, yellow and green. But if it had been first or second frame, we'd have gone for either or.
He didn't get near to that, but he's been a bit lucky he didn't leave anything on there. Maybe red in the centre, but black's now on the side cushion. Pink's off its spot. Can't pot the blue really in the middles with the yellow there. Just one shot and all that has happened. I think Kern's taken anything on here, but he could play a good snooker behind green and brown, possibly. You see the yellow and blues also there, so he's covering a lot of those reds. They're wide open now, but black is still on the side cushion. Pink is off his spot and blue is not available into the centre pocket. So still a lot to do. That's one way of getting out of a safety.
Yeah, great pot, and I think the way that Sean is feeling at the moment, he should bring the black into play. I wouldn't be leaving the black on the side cushion. Make Kyron Wilson realise with pink and black in play now that He's got to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes.
Sean Murphy.
And that's a very careless safety shot. Should have been on the baulk cushion.
There may be a gap there somewhere to after taking on one of the reds, but it's a bit risky, I think. As Ray Reardon said, you shouldn't hit the ball so hard. Quite right as well. Well, that was a poor shot, but he's brought the blue into play now. Black's into play before long, I should think. So Kylan's playing the red to the extreme left there, into the corner pocket. He's got to try and miss all the reds, get good position, and get his scoring boots on again.
Well, that was one I couldn't see him missing. His face is kind of redding up a little bit. He's getting a little bit anxious now.
Well, what happens when you're in this situation? You're not walking to the table with a lot of confidence. And there's a shot that he's been knocking in all the time, and now he doesn't fancy it.
Purposely using the red to screw off, to get back into the... Well, he was hoping to finish the right-hand side of the baulk line, not the left, but the brown's on. And this is the test, because he knows if he pots the brown, he's got a great chance of winning this frame as well. This brown is a little bit twitchy, to be honest. It's not one you'd like to play every day. Can't refuse it. If that red wasn't in baulk area, I'd fancy him knocking the brown in all the time. But the fact that he's bound to leave that red puts that little bit of extra pressure on this brown. But no problem.
Five. Six.
A brown now and a yellow, so he'd be starting to look at the bigger numbers before long. Look a bit cluttered below the black spot, but
Eight.
I'm sure these players can find a way.
9.
Just a little shorter pace there. You would have liked to play this black, and it's coming down too hard towards the black. Black spot to get down there and open those reds out. Not only the best way to play, it's the quickest way as well.
We'll have to play for the blue this time.
$17.
Didn't get into it properly. Brown or green's okay, blue's no good. If he gets dead straight on the two reds together, if he gets dead straight on one of those, and then he can bring the black into play, because it pots in the right-hand corner.
20.
He's been in 17 major finals as Sean Murphy, but he's never witnessed something like this, where he's gone clear in the opening session. This is territory he's never been in before. Played that
21.
lovely.
No, he's in a good spot now.
28.
Oh, he's a bit short there. He should pot the black and get on the red, but he would have liked to be in a bit closer to the black. Dead centre.
$36. 37.
In potting this red, it makes two other reds behind the black spot freely available. So you'd have to suggest this is an excellent chance to go 6-0 in front.
44.
Against such a class player.
45.
What has gone wrong? It's certainly not.
52.
If you weren't watching the match, you'd think he'd been absolutely outplayed in all departments, but he hasn't. He just had three, not careless frames, but frames that he knows he should have won.
Quiet, please.
There's a bit of noise in the background there, but right on Sean's shot, he just got on and off the table to regroup.
53.
This is frame ball. But obviously he wants to make sure he puts at least one more red to keep Karen off the table. And that one red looks to be a certainty.
60. 61.
Didn't need the kiss on that red, but he'll still take it on probably.
68.
Not the easiest of shots. Oh, dead centre.
69.
Very good. Sean Murphy's make it very difficult for Karen Wilson now. He's played superb to get this type of lead against such a good player. He's obviously Sean Murphy's 10th in the world at the moment in the rankings.
76.
Kieran is 8th, but I'd say it was an even match when it started.
Sean Murphy 76 on the frame.
So that's 76 then from Sean Murphy. He's taken him one frame further again. So he's now 6-0 in front against Kieran Wilson.
Yeah, great for Murphy. You have to feel, though, for Wilson. Before we talk about it, let's just show you who the top dogs are in the world rankings. These will be updated as follows tomorrow. Just one place between these two. As you can see, Kyron Wilson stays put at 8th, regardless of what happens in the final. Murphy, win or lose, moving from 10th to 9th. No change at the top, Judd Trump, and no change in the overall 16 either from the start of the tournament. A little bit like doing the charts, isn't it? The top 16 there. But I mean, terrific for Murphy. I mean, we are, what, 20-4 nearly. And he's 3 frames away from victory in this final.
Extraordinary, really. I can't tell you how well he's playing. I mean, he's cueing the ball just so well. Look at this red he knocks in. I mean, yes, when you're 5-0 ahead, they're easier, but goodness me, how many of those in 10 are you going to pot? I mean, he's just such a Rolls-Royce cueist. Look at this shot down. I mean, it's cued this so well.
Well, the top red was the easier one of the two there, wasn't it? And he's played the clever shot there. He's had to make the pot, but he used the other red to come down the table, and then the brown he's then knocked in the middle pocket. It was like he's knocked it in as if it was right over the hole. So he's brimming with confidence, and why not? You know, he's that far ahead.
Talk about Wilson. We saw the family earlier on. You know, we think they're here today to watch him. Big moment for Wilson, and yet, you know, it's going terribly for him. I mean, it's what can you say? I mean, how does he try to get himself up, you know, back into this somehow?
Well, what do you do? I mean, 5-0 down. You're 6-0 down now. 3 frames away from victory. Just trying to gain a sort of a degree of respectability to the score, I suppose, going into the evening session. But he's facing, you know, an 8-0 deficit here very quickly. Or, you know, I mean, you're looking at 8-1 at the minimum. I can't see anything better for Kyron. He was 2-0 down. He's responded with breaks of 45 and 52 or something like that, and he's lost all those frames. He made a 64 and he still lost that frame as well. You know, it deflates your confidence. I mean, this is a Royal Command performance we're seeing from Sean Murphy at the moment. I mean, I can't tell you how well he's playing.
Yeah, it's a real exhibition, isn't it? A real showcase of his top snooker. Let's take you back in.
Yes, the boys have just said he's playing beautifully, Sean Murphy. But a lot of it's been down to Kyron Wilson when he should have won the frame, not taking them. Can somehow he win the last 2 frames to give him some sort of foothold in this match. Any other scoreline, the match is over. 6-2 is his only hope.
Another good long pot from Sean Murphy. Certainly been one of his strong suits in this match so far.
This is a hit and hope on the black here. Oh, I thought he was going to try and cut the black in. I think I'd favour the cut black rather than long. I know the long blue is okay, but it's missable, being hampered by the black slightly. Well, normally missable.
Six.
Dead centre again. Perfect spins. He's enjoying himself out there. Not quite right. Don't get many days like this in your career.
7.
And the red at the back of the pack will pot, and in potting it he'll be bringing other reds into play. So just needs to leave a 3/4 ball red. Not quite high enough. Luckily the red that's loose to the bottom of the pack on the left hand side, hitting the bunch, That red will
14.
slow the white down and just push through nicely for the black. So I suppose it could finish near the bottom cushion, the black cushion. But that's a stopper, that red. Yeah, that's what I was worried about, the white coming near this cushion. Now then, Karen, you've been given a lifeline. That wasn't the poor shot, it was a shot from black to get onto the red. If ever you needed a 74 plus break here, it's now.
One.
Yeah, that was always the problem, that when kissing that last red, it was always coming towards his back cushion. As long as he misses a kiss on the yellow, should be okay. It's amazing that when things are not going right for you, that's the worst possible place.
6.
Okay, he's got the rest, which normally is okay.
Seven.
Now normally Karen would be playing that little gap, those pack of reds there, right in the joint of that 2 reds above the black spot. But whether he's going to play it now, I'm not sure. Yeah, he has played it. The only reason I say that, because he knows it's bound to split them nicely. But when you're out of form like he is, everything goes awkward. Look at the little wry smile on his face as he walks.
14.
He's hit it absolutely perfect. Look, there's the gap, the joint. Hit it perfect. But now he's faced with a hampered shot on the red in the middle. Whatever you do is not going right at the moment, Karen. Brilliant shot. Brilliant kiss. Unfortunately, the result is awkward. Not just awkward, very awkward.
Yeah.
Under the circumstances, excellent pot. Needs
15.
one more good pot to make this a possible frame winning opportunity. Just get as close to these reds as possible off the green. Just past the 2-hour mark. Now the yellow obviously avails better position, but the green's unmissable. Could have got there from the green. That's definitely not where he played.
17. $23. 24. $30.
Nice to see Kyron go in the balls here, making break again. It's a bit of a rough time so far.
$31.
Oh, what should he done then? What you're trying to click off the black of the red for the black, or
just
what?
come across the face of the red and get on the
Oh,
black.
right.
Just completely got into the cue ball too much. Now, if its score was 3 each, this pink would be no problem. But because the score's 6-0, the pink's a problem.
Oh, he's got to take it on. Oh.
Couldn't miss that in a month of Sundays if the score
31.
wasn't 6-0. He'd be absolutely horrified. That will hurt more than anything, that one shot.
Well, there's been a few shots that you know, would have helped him a lot, but didn't happen.
It was just a bread and butter shot, wasn't it, from the red to get onto the black?
One.
Sean knows it's an excellent chance again now to win a frame at this visit, albeit he was 16 points behind.
Well, in the first 2 frames ago, Sean was, you know, he made 108, breaking an 84. But since then, Kyron's made a 52, 45, 64. And for some reason, he's been well in front and missed something. And like this one here, Murphy stepped in and taken the balls. Fair play to him. It's not easy to clear up all the time, but he's done it.
Yeah, Kyron Wilson scored 204 points in the 6 frames. You think that would be enough to win a frame from somewhere? Oh, that's a poor shot, Sean. Obviously, knowing you need that last red, trying to bring into play there, you can see his disappointment.
16.
Makes you look silly when you play a shot like that and miss it. Look where the cue ball is. Just playing to kiss the red full ball, send it up the table a little bit. Missed it by quite a way.
Sean Murphy,
Once
16.
again, missed the pot by a mile and got away with it. There's a helicopter above the auditorium, I think.
Drilling noise.
Sounds like a helicopter. Referee thinks it's a drilling noise. And the cue ball is amazing how it's finished there, and Sean Murphy's playing a pot to get on the black, and he's looking at the plan, but as you can see it's very difficult. And well, he's trying to screw back for the black as well. Good luck. This is just being played out of frustration. Just being played out of frustration, that shot. But it's his turn to have a bit of good fortune. I must say good fortune, the red's available in the middle, but it's It's not easy to get onto a colour. It can either go into the green or brown. Wow, it looked in, didn't it?
Red's not in a great position now with a bit of safety play. Blue and pink are up the top of the table. And now they're rolling up to 2 reds. So it's just going to be a little tit for tat here and there. Nobody wants to give his opponent a good chance. Oops.
Perfectly played the miscue. The way Sean's playing, he doesn't really want to get involved in this kind of play. Anything that can knock himself out of rhythm, he wants to avoid. Just frightened to death, isn't he, of leaving this long red on for Sean the way he's playing. So he can get in, almost in behind the pink off this red. But he wants to get there, otherwise the long red's on. Oh dear, where's the red going? Needs the pink to cover now. He can swerve this.
It's opened the game out a bit. It's, the swerve is coming. It's not a certainty. Position was always going to be difficult.
1.
Way on the black. £31 points each here. Nothing much happening. Oh.
Sean Murphy, 1.
That's not going a long way.
Yes, he tried to play in such a way that even if he missed it, it would stay in the pocket. But as you just mentioned, Terry, missed it by so far that the gap's there. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, he's lucky there.
1.
He completely mishit it. If you're going to play it in off the black, you don't try and hit the cushion first. Completely mishit it, but that's the first bit of good fortune Karen's had. He just got the side on too much and it turned it over.
8.
And then just get nicely on the black now and a chance to win a frame.
9.
So anything but straight on this red in the middle, and he can easily get onto one of the killers at the other end of the table. Doesn't want to be straight. If he's straight, it's a poor shot.
16.
There is room to go probably down for the pink. He could get here. Could run this through off one cushion. He's 16 in front, so he doesn't need to go for the pink, but there's only really the yellow available if he plays the run through.
$17.
He's going to have to risk the kiss on the red now to push it towards the middle. This could go wrong. Judged the kiss perfectly. Pushed it towards the corner.
19.
Karen. This is a chance you can't refuse to take.
20.
Wouldn't surprise me if he gives the crowd a salute if he should win this frame.
$23. 25.
The lead, 25, the green at 28. Just make sure you pot the brown. Don't leave Sean Murphy a chance.
28.
The crowd acknowledge frame ball. And somebody just said yes. It's amazing, no high break in this frame. But any breaks of 31 and 37. But this time they've been enough to win the frame.
43.
Well, a very relieved Karen Wilson playing across the ball, but what he had to do, try and win the last two frames. There's a salute to the crowd. It was 6-0. It's now 6-1. The comeback is on.
Them, and you know, we've had little chats away from you, and he just wants to, you know, he said he wants to enjoy it, and for him to enjoy it is something he's got to do. He said, you know, in the advent of adversity, I can either sit there and look miserable, you know, which people tend to think that. Or he said, I can put a smile on my face, try and enjoy it as best I can, and if I enjoy it, it'll bring my best snooker out, and that's what he's trying to do, even now, this far behind.
We might have been listening to some music. He was doing that in practice earlier on before he took to the arena, but this is another big one for him then. Final frame of the session, and he trails 6-1.
Funny enough, Sean Murphy went massive favourite in that previous frame, didn't he? He had 2 golden opportunities to make it 7-0. So he's playing this last frame with just a tad of, maybe just a tad of negativity. But he's been potting these all day long. How close will he get to this one? Pretty close. Wonderful. Just beautifully cued. I mean, that was just off straight. And you can't hit the ball better.
Brown ball.
Just coming round to see if he finishes low, whether he can get onto the black, and I don't know, I think we'd be going up for the blue and try and get rid of one of the reds either side of the black. That would make things a little easier. If he just finished low on the black, I think it pots in the left-hand corner. But he has to finish really low. No, he's playing for the blue. Now, is he going to bring the pink into play, or is he going to play for the red to the right of the black? The red to the right of the black, I think, is the best choice this time. Normally we advocate going into them, but got to get that black into play. It's a bit tight. If he feels the black pot's easy, he won't play into the bunch. He'll play for the red to the right of the black. But if he feels it doesn't pot easy, he didn't really play that very well. A little bit more stun required there, but he's okay, he's on it. But he's
11.
going to play this dead weight. Because he didn't have the angle on that red, he had to play it for the blue and played it nicely.
$17. $18.
He's got the angle now. Just
23.
Bottom on the right, get the black going now. Get through the gap there. And nicely
24.
played. It looks so easy, doesn't it? The professionals are playing, but it's not. They're all a bit edgy,
31.
a bit nervous, and want to win more tournaments, more money, and less travel.
32.
And there's another example of good break building. Played the stun run through into the pack, bringing all reds into play. And now if he gets nicely on the next red, we can only see one result, and that's 7-1. So this is really, I think, Kyron's last chance in this frame, this black. How is he on the red?
$39.
Not perfect. And the red he's going to have to play. He's going to have to judge the cannon nicely. Play to get through the gap.
40.
He's played so well, Sean. The only thing that surprises you is he only had 1 century. And that was in the very first frame, break of 108. It's not been vintage Murphy. I mean, he's cued great, but he's not been winning frames at one visit.
$45. 46.
Another one gone wrong. And this time there isn't an easy red.
53.
Just put a little bit too much done on there, or not enough. Doesn't look happy.
But how many times have we talked about it over the last months with Sean Murphy? He's got oceans of room there. And all of a sudden he throws a quick one in, 50 points in front. And I mentioned earlier on in commentary, the number of times he gets himself in trouble when he's on a 50-plus break is amazing. Recovery shot needed.
Seems to me that he's doing all right.
Yeah, but he puts, why put himself under pressure there? You know, it was just a basic shot.
Well, he didn't try and put himself under pressure there. He just didn't play it good enough.
But is it more often than anybody else? Taking it on, round the back of the black. Very good, very good. Doesn't matter when you can pot like that sometimes,
54.
does it? Brilliant shot. Very acute angle.
$61.
Remarkable performance this has been.
62.
This is unknown territory for Sean. As mentioned earlier on, he's had 17, been in 17 major finals, but he's never ever been this far in front in one.
69.
He's probably played about 4 bad shots in the
70.
whole session. That's how good he's played. Cued beautifully.
$77. 78.
Possible 136 on with blacks.
85. 86.
Must be absolutely buzzing inside at the minute, Sean. You would have been happy, as the boys in the studio said, to come out of this 5-3 in front. 7-1, amazing.
92. 93. $99. 100.
Well, this packed auditorium can only applause what has only to be said. An absolutely genius performance from Sean Murphy this afternoon. Almost flawless.
107. 109.
I thought his performance against Judd Trump was the best I'd seen him play for 2 years. Didn't play at his best last night against Yan Bintao, but played like he did against Judd Trump this afternoon.
$121.
Lovely player to watch when he's in this form. It's been a masterclass. And finished it with an excellent break of 134. Sean Murphy, far too good this afternoon for Kyren Wilson. Kyren knows it should have been closer, but Sean Murphy almost certain to win the tournament now. He goes into the final session leading by 7 frames to 1.
Welsh Open, a masterclass is certainly the word for what we've just seen from Sean Murphy. You do have the feel for Kyren Wilson, but it's been magnificent. I mean, Murphy's 6th century of the tournament, 94% pot success. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, you could not begrudge him the trophy if he now goes on to win it.
No, absolutely. I mean, he's played so well today. His long game, and you've got to think that Sean Murphy does play some very, very low percentage long pots, but he's been getting nearly all of them today. It's absolutely fantastic. And I've got to be honest, I mean, after his 4.25-hour match last night in the semi-finals against Yan Bintao, I thought, you know, being a man, forgive me, of slightly ample proportions, I thought he might struggle today, and I was wrong.
Yeah, what do we know, eh? I mean, so much for fatigue and being shattered after that 1 o'clock, getting to bedtime last night. Wilson, what does he do in this break? Well, he's got 3 hours to mull this over.
Look, it's not a lot. You know, you just got to try and stay as positive as he can. Come out tonight and just hope that this first session goes the way the first session went for Sean today. You know, at the end of the day, he's met someone who's just at the top of his game and have played outstanding snooker all day.
Briefly, how's it going to finish? Are we looking at a 9-1?
9-2, maybe.
Possibly. Darren?
Look, I don't know what the score's going to be, but it's a foregone conclusion now that I feel Sean Murphy's now going to have to fall apart for Kyren Wilson to have any chance.
Murphy has got his name on the trophy, doesn't it, for 2020? We will find out later. Hope you will join us for the conclusion from 7 o'clock on BBC Two Wales. Murphy 7-1 in front. Come back for Wilson. It's time for the second part of the show. Your commentary team here in Cardiff, Darren Morgan and John Virgo.
Good evening, Ian. Good evening, everybody. Well, you can tell by the reception that Kyren Wilson got that this packed crowd here at the Motor Point Arena are hoping for a match. Sean Murphy just 2 frames away from victory.
Still got the Welsh.
He's going to need some kind
Welsh
of start here, I feel,
table.
Darren. I think these first few frames, well, obviously, but Sean won the first 4. If Kyren could win the first 4, game on.
Absolutely, John, but I think it is all going to be about the start. Obviously, you know, Sean Murphy this close now to picking up this prestigious Ray Reardon trophy for the Welsh Open. And it's great to see Ray here today. I've just spent an hour up in the Players' Lounge with him, and he's in fine feckle and telling some of the old stories of the past. Quite funny indeed. Great to see him.
Yeah, I'll absolutely endorse that. Of course, Ray Reardon, along with John Spencer, Alex Higgins, the main reason that snooker took off as it did. Well, that was to him an half chance, but He's got a decent cue ball. He'll be very disappointed with the outcome this afternoon. A couple of frames where he looked all over, always in control of the frame, but just couldn't put them to bed.
Yes, John, I actually said in the studio that after the first 7 frames he was 6-1 down, and it could very easily have been 4-3 up to Kyron, but just didn't make the most of his opportunities. Just be looking to get this first frame on the board tonight, just to settle himself and try and get into this match somehow.
Pretty good safety that from Sean, and that's another thing that's impressed me throughout this match. His safety play has been good. It can be a weakness sometimes. Needs to miss the yellow, and he has done. And that's a pretty good shot. And at the moment, the black is available, so both players will be very wary of trying to leave a red in the open. Sean coming down, doesn't fancy the return to balk. But he's playing it. Gotta catch this just right. And does. That's an excellent shot. Well played.
So saying, whatever you can do, I can do better. He's got Sean in a lot of trouble this time. I mean, he can get off the end of this red, nearest this right corner, but it's going to be really thin, this one. He gets the kiss on the yellow, but I don't think there's any damage done. This has been a good little barrage of safety shots, the last 2 or 3 from each player. Obviously really imperative for Kyron. He doesn't give Sean any easy opportunities at the start of this first frame this evening.
Yeah, Kyron desperate to get in first. The brown will be the target again. That's a nice spot on the baulk cushion, but just caught the red a fraction too full. But once again, no real damage done, and well, slightly hampered queuing here by the brown, and it doesn't look to be an escape route down the right hand side of the table as we looked, so Sean's in a spot of bother here. Once again looking down at this pocket, considering the containing safety, but even then he may leave a pot on.
called it, John. Excuse me. Missed that completely due to the awkward queuing. Could have been a lot worse, to be fair.
Yeah, just looking, I don't think he's left anything. Isn't it always the way? You got a big lead, and the ball's run for you. And that double kiss on the brown, which was always on. It's not a good cue ball. I don't know whether Sean will be tempted with this. I mean, he's a tremendous long potter, as we know. If there's no escape route down the right-hand side of the table, he may take this red on. Because I think, after where he left the cue ball before, the only red he could leave is the one he's playing. And he's got enough cue power to play the pot and screw back for the blue. Taking it on.
Well, you called it, John. He's 7-1 ahead. If there's any run at the moment, it's going to go to Sean. Clyden Wilson must be absolutely... He's smiling. You know, fair dues to him. He's come in. He had a little dance as he walked in, as they called him on. But, you know, he'll be in bits there, really. He'd have come into this final with high expectations, especially after his great win over Ronnie O'Sullivan in the semi-final. But the way it's going, it just looks like it's going to be a Sean Murphy day. On another day, it could have been the latter. What a fluke that was.
Seven.
Chance now to get the black on its spot. It may only be available
13.
into the right corner. There's a pocket to play for it now. Well, just nudging that red
14.
away might just make it available into the left corner as well, but what a chance. What a fluke.
$21. $22.
This has been perfect for Sean now. Getting that fluke. Balls are split perfectly. He's getting straight back into his queuing.
29.
And in full flow. Obviously both players coming out tonight would have been
30.
full of nerves, have the butterflies just jingling there. This is the start Clyden Wilson could have done with.
Yeah, once Sean had
37.
missed that red, Kyron was ready to get out of his seat and see what he could do with the opportunity, and then
38.
somehow a red dropped into the left middle. Cruel.
$45.
So the first tester in this little effort. It's a lot closer to the cush than he'd have liked. Again, cued it
46.
sweetly. He has cued great all week, to be fair. Come a little bit unstuck in the semi-final, but he managed to find some way to win. But this today has been absolutely scintillating.
53. $54.
I've noticed in the last few tournaments that he's played, Sean, he's just giving shots just that extra few seconds of thought. And he's played that absolutely inch perfect. He couldn't have picked it up in his hand and put it any better than that. So 57 points of lead, 83 remaining at the moment, so 3 reds required.
$58.
In fact, this red and her colour will get into
64.
snookers required.
$65.
Applause, snookers required. I always remember people used to say that, well, okay, it started with a fluke, but he's
71.
played them really well. But for the fluke, he wouldn't have been at the table, maybe. So I'm not a great lover of that analogy.
72.
But well, you get a bit of luck, you've got to take advantage of it.
Well, that's the other adage, isn't it? They say if you have a fluke, make sure you take advantage of it, and that's exactly what he's done this time. He's took full advantage.
$78. $79.
Man, it has given us the opportunity, that fluke, to see how well he's cueing. Boy, that was a good shot. Clean as a whistle, judged the position to perfection. One green, one blue, 4 pinks, 6 blacks.
86.
We started this match off with
87.
a 108 break. Finished the afternoon session with a break of 134. And that cannon's worked out perfectly. Well, I say perfectly, a bit of work to do with the cue ball, but he's cueing that well. I don't expect
94.
him not to pot this and be on the black.
95.
And this black for his 7th century break of the tournament. Played a bit of an exhibition shot, got into the cue ball too much, but he won't be bothered.
102.
As I say, he's made 7 centuries, 3 in this match. And
Sean
Kyron will
Murphy,
have to stay in
102
his
in the
seat.
frame.
He battled hard for that first chance. He forced Sean into playing a long red. He missed it, but fluked it, and then made a break of 102, 8-1.
In the final frame of the afternoon, so really carrying on where he left off. A very good evening to my 2 guests, Dominic Dale and Willie Thorne. Good to see you both for the final this evening. Willie, I mean, he's just been magnificent all day.
I had the pleasure of commentating on this afternoon session, and he just cued perfectly. Obviously, the scoreline shouldn't have been 7-1. Kyron Wilson was a little unlucky on 3 of the frames, made breaks of 60, 50 and 40, and didn't manage to win any one of the 3 frames. So the scoreline flattered Sean, but he was by far and away the better player.
Poor old Kyron Wilson. I don't know what he did in between sessions, but nothing's changed.
No, it's a pity. Do you know, if he could have won that last remaining frame of the afternoon session to go into tonight just 6-2 behind, you've got a realistic prospect of winning 3 of the first 4 frames in the first mini session, and he's 7-5 down. That's a realistic proposition, to go in with. But unless he'd have won all 4 frames of this first mini session to reduce the deficit and keep Sean Murphy a couple of frames away, there was no hope for him, and he's just lost that first frame, so he's in trouble now.
It's amazing as well, like Kyron Wilson had to win this session 4-0, so he's in this think, well, I'm going to try and win 4-0. All of a sudden then, what happens? Sean Murphy has a right go at a red. Just watch this last kiss on the white, just to drop in dead weight in the middle pocket. So Kyron Wilson's coming in trying to win all 4, and that's happened.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's the last thing that he needed, isn't it? What do you think that Wilson would have done during the break?
Oh, crikey, he'd probably spent time with his family, I'd imagine, and been quite philosophical about it.
You wouldn't want to be on your own. You would want to be with good people.
Everybody's different, really, Ian, and I think in Kyron's, certainly in my case, I mean, I'd have just done what I'd normally do. I wouldn't think about the snooker anymore, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm out the match now, and I'm just going to go into tonight and just have a go at a few shots, enjoy myself, and you never know what can happen.
One more frame, all Murphy needs. We could be done by 8 o'clock, Will.
Well, you never know. There might be the biggest comeback ever.
It would be, wouldn't it? Probably, in all likelihood. Wilson, it's really not been his day so far. The man who is 8th in the world rankings, and Sean Murphy, getting back to some kind of prominence.
When you think 18 months ago, you've done a few match interviews with Sean Murphy. He's on about packing the game in. That's how bad he was. Obviously, he's got people around him now, and he's now back to his super best. I mean, this is as good as I've seen him play for many, many years, especially in the game against Judd Trump. I thought he was superb.
Yeah, I didn't see much of the Trump match, but this has been quite special today from Sean Murphy. Okay, yes, there's a couple of frames could have gone Kyron Wilson's way. He had a couple of breaks, looked like they were going to go his way, and somehow he's managed to lose them. But Sean Murphy today has been red hot. He hasn't missed much. When he's got in, he's scored quite prolifically. Here's a chance for Kyron Wilson. He'll just be looking out. He'd love to win a couple of frames just to make the score respectable. As Dominic said, in his head now, he's probably already written the match off. But he would like to get a couple of frames on the board, and you never know. It's nearly 30 minutes before his last pot. Just under. Come on, Kyron. Whoa. Show everybody what you're made of, mate.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Now, Darren, you're just playing for pride at first. Put on a display for this packed crowd. You'll get every encouragement. And just see where it gets you. If you can get us to the interval.
8.
Who knows? I mean, listen, we've seen it. We've seen it in the World Championship. Remember that time when Cliff Thorburn led Nigel Bond 8-1? And Nigel finished up beating him 10-9. I mean, it can happen.
Yeah, well, that was in a qualifier, to be fair. But
no, that was in the main arena at the Crucible.
Was it?
Yes.
All right,
It was in the main arena.
16.
The one that always stands out to me is the one with Mike Allett and Stephen Hendry at the Masters. When I think Stephen
17.
was 7-0 down and 8-1 down and come back on 1-9-8.
Yeah. But what you've got to do when you get opportunities like this, you've got to take them and play don't miss snooker. And he is capable, but you'll need a bit of help from his opponent, because you can't see
24.
In all the frames that Sean's not going to get at least 2 or 3 good chances to clinch the match.
25.
I think, like you said, John, it's just the warrior, as they call him. He'll be playing for a bit of pride. Obviously his family are here with him. And he hasn't played bad today. He just hasn't scored enough when he's got in. He's had lots of little efforts, but he hasn't quite got over the winning line in any of the frame. Well, one frame he did, but when he gave the chance to Sean Murphy, it was very easy to lay that snooker that he needed.
33.
That just struggled in. That was the 5th red, 5th black coming up. It's okay. Can't play for the black this time, but he's already made one maximum
40.
this week, so he's not desperate for another.
$41. $45. $46.
The problem that will be coming up pretty soon is that triangle of 6 reds in between the pink and black. He can't get over the winning line without bringing a couple of those into play. And it's not really that easy to do it off the blue, because with the pink being
50.
separated from them, that's acting as a bit of a blocker. I was going to suggest he could do it off a bought
51.
colour, but now he's played that, he's going to have to play for the 1 loose red and then hopefully get a good angle on the black, he would have thought, to go into that triangle of 6. Well, the way he's played it, he might just stun into him here, but just got to be careful
56.
here. If you get into it too much, you could finish on nothing. Can he just brush off them? Hello. Oh, you see, you get the feeling if it had been the other way, it'd have gone in, that red. But he just took his eye off the pot, trying to open the reds. And of course, having missed it, nearly fluked it, but worst of all, has left it.
One.
Well, this would be a real cruel blow for Kyron Wilson. It's the same sort of pattern as them 3 or 4 frames this afternoon.
9.
Done all the work, created the chance, and then missed something that under normal circumstances he would have got. But Sean Murphy today has been so clinical. You would have to say, I would think he'd be very disappointed if he doesn't win this frame and match at this visit now.
16.
Even though he's still 40 points behind. That was the only ball really
17.
you could see was going to cause him any problems. It's all about now keeping tight control of the cue ball and not missing anything easy.
Yes, we always say that that frame to win you the match, win you the
24.
trophy, is always the hardest one to win, but just get the feeling, don't you, that he's in such a good place at the moment, it's Sean.
25.
He's striking the ball beautifully. And I think these 2 reds that will be just below the pink. I think they possibly go into middle pockets, if not corners. So no need to play any cannon or anything. And once he pots one of them, of course,
31.
it'll free the other one. Just coming round now to have a look at the availability of the red to the left middle. Had a quick glance at them before when we were panning round, and it looked to me as though both of them went, well, at least the left down one goes.
32.
Although he's landed nicely on the black, he could play a cannon. But if he can hold for the red in the middle, why risk the cannon? The cannon could go wrong. He's in complete control of everything now, Darren, isn't he?
Well, it's
39.
It's just been the perfect day for him. You know, everything's gone his way and he's played extremely well with it. Like I said, he had that scare last night. I always felt that today he'd come out and he'd be a different Sean Murphy
40.
to that. This is the way he's played all week. He's cued absolutely to perfection. I mean, Kyron Wilson's had a great week. It's not the ending that he'd have liked, but I'm sure with the way he's been playing, a couple of tournaments
46.
now in the next couple of weeks, you know, he's already proven he's capable of winning anything. He's going to be there or
47.
thereabouts. This is something for him to build on. But you can't help feel slightly disappointed for him in the fact that he's played quite well. He just hasn't scored enough. He's made lots of little breaks.
Yeah, and of course, when you miss, as he did, and open the reds up, at this level,
53.
that usually costs you. 3 points behind, needs up to and including the pink, and Kyron race will be run.
55.
He's had a couple of finals in the Welsh Open as Sean. Never won it, but just 4 balls away from putting his hand on the Ray Reardon trophy.
58. $62. $67.
Well, it's been absolute perfection.
73.
He's going to pop the black. He doesn't need a trick shot off 4 cushions. Well, I'm surprised it didn't go in. Kyron Wilson gets out of his seat, gives Sean warm congratulations because Sean has been magnificent. Kyron Wilson, you've got to feel for him, big moment, but there's Sean, absolutely delighted, and he can't play much better than that, and that will stand him in good stead for the rest of the season, particularly with the World Championship in mind. Sean Murphy is the Welsh Open champion 2020 by 9 frames to 1.
Kyron, commiserations, it didn't happen for you today, did it?
Well, if we're all quick enough, happy hour ends in half an hour. No, honestly, I'd just like to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I've not given you your money's worth tonight. I'm gutted I couldn't put on, you know, more of a fight than that, but Sean was absolutely fantastic all day long, and he's outplayed me, so yeah, fantastic.
You've had a brilliant week, and we've loved following your progress across the week here. What happened today, do you think? Did you just get blown away by how good he was?
Yeah, basically, you know, Sean's a class act. He's been there and won everything. So I think that the early sort of frames, Sean pinched a couple, and I just couldn't find the momentum after that. And you know, he outplayed me in the long potting, safety, break building. It was just fantastic. So hold my hands up, the better player won.
When he... Very gracious in defeat, Kyra. I mean, I just wonder, how did you feel at the interval when you were 7-1 down? Did you still believe you could pull it back?
Honestly, I still back myself. I'm a fighter. I'll always fight to the end. I want to give people their money's worth. So I was always prepared to put a fight on. It didn't help getting caught out by Storm Dennis. I'm drenched.
You didn't get any hailstones on you, did you, when you came in?
No, just the ones from Sean today.
There is the commiseration, I guess, of the £5,000 cheque for the highest break of the week. That wonderful 147 right at the start.
Yeah, a very proud moment in my career. I've never done any good in this arena, and I love playing here. I love the support the people of Cardiff and the people that have travelled up have given me on and off the table. So thank you to everyone. It's been amazing.
And I'm sure your two lads enjoyed watching you beat Neil Robertson and Ronnie O'Sullivan in particular.
Yeah, they've come for tonight's session. They've only seen 2 frames, so they're not going to be too happy with me. But no, it's, you know, snooker's a tough sport. You've got to take these defeats on the chin and learn from them, and hopefully come back stronger.
Well, all the best for the rest of the season, Kyra, and it's been a great to watch you this week. Many congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Your runner-up, Kyra Wilson. Sean, many congratulations. Some very warm words there from Kyra. And how does it feel, not just to win, but to win in that way?
Well, I mean, like, after the way I came through last night and nearly threw it all away, I didn't expect that at all. I was just pleased to, like, you know, still have a match to come to today. But yeah, I mean, I knew from the outset I had to be on my game, and you know, you've got somebody like Kyron in the corner who's had a great couple of last week's semis and then the final here, obviously knocking out Ronnie yesterday, making the maximum. You know you've got to up your game. And the other thing I have to say, I can't not comment on it. I thought I had every little bit of run today. I had all the luck. It was just embarrassing, and I'd love to say sorry, but I'm not.
Well, why should you be? I mean, you know, as you say, last night it was so late. You were sat with us in the studio after winning. It was, 10 past 12. We're saying, are you going to be tired today? I mean, you know, no sign of any tiredness.
Yeah, no, I think if you asked all the lads, I speak for all of them, that, you know, if you can't get up for an event like this with a great crowd, passionate crowd, you know, in a great city like Cardiff for an important trophy like this, then you really ought to ask yourself a few questions. So, yeah, there was no scare of that for me today. But as I say, I knew I had to be on my A game from the outset, and luckily for me, I was.
Second ranking title of the season for you. What does this mean? Because you were saying 12 months ago you didn't know whether you still had it in you.
Yeah, you know, I owe a lot of thank yous to some, you know, very important people, including my wife and, you know, my coach, Chris. You know, I had a lot of stern conversations in the summer about whether I still had it and whether I could still face it out here. It's not easy, this. It's quite gladiatorial. We're out here on our own. We don't have teammates. We don't have caddies, whispering sweet nothing. It's quite difficult, this. And, you know, they and a couple of others sort of nursed me back. You know, they brought me back because I was almost gone. And, you know, I owe them a big thank you. This may well be the first time I've ever won 2 ranking events in a season, so that's special. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing the season now.
And what is next for you to get back to the top of the world and to challenge at the World Championships?
Oh, grief. I mean, there's some very good players in the mix. Like, we're all too experienced now to sort of start saying that, you know, if you win this, you're going to be favourite for something else. And it's just great to be in good form. You know, I think we've both shown that this week. And there's a lot of guys playing well just at the right time of year.
And I think this is a record win for the Welsh Open, 9-1.
Grief. I didn't know that. Listen, it's, you know, on another night you'd be out here and we'd be here till 1 a.m. You know, I said last night about the match with Yan Mintao. I don't want to say it was a long match, but there was a birthday halfway through it. Like, you know, it was. that's just the way it goes in our sport. And I've stood here in Kyron's position before, and it's not easy to take, but he will come back stronger. He's a great player, a future champion in the making, and he'll be back stronger.
Well, Sean, many congratulations. You've got a few hours to celebrate now, so enjoy the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2020 Welsh Open champion, Shaun Murphy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your presentation party, World Snooker Tour Events Director Katie Oldfield and the 6-time champion of the world, Ray Reardon. First, receiving £30,000 and the runners-up medal, Kyron Wilson. And now to the winner, receiving £70,000, the Ray Reardon Trophy, and the title, ManBetX Welsh Open Champion 2020, Shaun Murphy!
Yeah, Ray Reardon.
At points last season in saying this is the worst campaign I've ever put together. This year's different. You're getting back to the heights that have taken you to a Triple Crown. Excellent win in China. You had 3 finals and a bounce. What's clicking again this year that was missing last year?
I think it's difficult to put my finger on one thing. But I sat down at the end of the season and at sort of the start of this season and tried to work out what aspects of my life from a more holistic point of view, all of the things I'm involved in and a couple of other business interests that I have. And I was a player commission representative. I was a board member of the WPBSA. I was only practicing 4 or 5 days a week, not on a Saturday. You look at all of these things and think, right, which of these things are helping me? Which of these things are potentially hindering me? What can I do? What can I do differently here? If I keep doing the same thing, I will keep getting the same result. And so I changed literally everything. I now practice more. I practice on weekends, which I've never have historically done. The winning trophies, the trophies don't know that it's a Saturday. So I'm still going practicing. I'm very lucky to have a very supportive wife and a very, someone who enables me to go to do these things. I resigned from the WPBSA board reluctantly, and I resigned from the Players Commission again reluctantly because I considered it a real honour and a privilege to represent this game and represent my other members and try to make this game better for them. And you kind of take a view on what's adding to your life and what isn't, what's a distraction and what isn't. And that's probably holistically the sort of way I've gone about it.
It sounds to me as though you recognised you were being spread too thin. Because also, apart from all those commitments, you're trying to be a father and you're trying to be a husband.
Yeah, very difficult. And if you could give 100% of your life, as I did as a young boy, to snooker, I had no commitments, no responsibility, that's great. And as you get older, you amass these, ultimately they're things that distract you from that goal, but they're obviously much more important, having children, being married, relationships, all of those things, trying to hold down. It's all very important, but it all just nips away at how much energy you can put into what's supposed to be one of the most important things in your life. And with some very strong words of sometimes quite confrontational, but people who were trying to help me, Fergal O'Brien took me aside and gave me a real stern dressing down as a friend and said, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Chris Henry back in my corner, we need to change this, we need to change that, you've slipped back on doing this. And then, I've got my wife at home, saying things like, we believe in you. Let's come on, let's get, let's go. Let's keep the positivity, keep trying to achieve. I'm very, very fortunate to be in that position. I've got some excellent, great people around me. Because there were some very dark moments last year and in the previous season where I could have easily, if I'd had anything to walk away to, I would have walked away.
So therefore, how satisfying was it to take your first ranking title in just over, 2.5 years, and in a decider against Mark Williams? That could, from what you're saying and the position you were in at the start of the season, that could turn out to be a highly significant victory when we look back on your career in many years' time when you've retired.
I went back to my room and had a good cry.
Really?
Because there were some times last year and in the season before where I really considered my future as a potential winner of snooker tournaments. Yeah, I would have kept my tour card and I would have stayed on. But there's, when you rock up to an event, some people are just looking for a paycheck, whereas some of us are looking for trophies. And there was a while there where I really had to look myself in the mirror and say, do you think you can do this anymore? Or have you become one of the many? And that was a very uncomfortable conversation to have. And I had it with other people. And their belief in me was probably what carried me through, because my belief in me had gone. My get up and go had gone up and gone. And their fire, their belief really kicked me up the backside. And I owe it all to those people I mentioned.
He's the magician, Shaun Murphy!
Absolutely thrilled to be in the Welsh Open 14 years after my first attempt at winning this great tournament. It would be an absolute thrill to lift that wonderful Ray Reardon trophy. I think, we're all here, we're all trying to win, and I think if you can't get yourself up for a final of an event, then you're definitely in the wrong job. I can't wait to get out there and play. I'm really excited to be in another final, and hope I win.
To be here.
Absolute snooker.
A great pleasure indeed.
Brilliant.
Especially with two of my Welsh compatriots.
Well, you've been talking,
Fantastic.
you've been chatting away through that little feature.
Because I didn't know they were here.
More excited to see these two than you are to be sat down in the arena.
Where's Mark? Where's Mark? We want Mark here now, and that'll be nice.
Yeah, well, he went out early in the week, didn't he, Mark Williams?
Yeah, that was quite a surprise.
Yeah.
Really.
What have you made of it?
Of what?
The tournament so far.
Oh, fantastic. Lovely.
Yeah.
Well attended. Standards are very high. I think the standards are growing up, actually, yeah.
Do you think the standards are going up each year?
In parts, yes. Sometimes they have a bit of a poor run and then things go amiss, if you like, and they start hitting the balls instead of stroking it. Pressure comes in from the tournament itself and television and the people. But the game itself will get to you in the end, in any case. What a game.
Yeah.
Do you play?
Shaun Murphy, I do a little bit, but not to the standard of these guys here. And
but very badly, in other words.
Well, we've seen Kyron Wilson up here in the practice session, and very badly.
I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't ask you a question.
No.
That's wrong. I beg your pardon.
No, that's fine.
When you watch these players today, Ray, and you've sat in the audience there watching the first four frames there, how's the game changed since your era to what you're seeing today? Are players more aggressive? Are they better long potters? Do they play long pots differently?
Not a lot has changed in the game itself, but the players have changed because they're younger. I mean, if you go back to my A days, well, I mean, when I won the world title for the first time, 1970, I mean, I was 38. I mean, they're winning the world title now at 18, 19, 20, and all sorts of ages. And they're coming through in droves, not just one and two. So, yeah, the game is progressing wonderfully, I think, yes. I think that introducing this type of play, with a star table, and they're always playing on it year in, year out, and every tournament they play is on that type of table. The speed is amazing. The speed is about a quarter of a length faster than in my day.
Right.
Which is a lot, really. Maybe the balls have got a little bit lighter.
They have, I think, yeah.
I don't know, that's only my own...
They are.
As I see, and I judge that by the way the ball comes back with backspin. I do, if they complete now, you can screw the length of the table quite easily. I could never do that.
Plots are different now as well.
Yes.
Vastly different. But we play must be 30 tournaments in a season or more. How many tournaments in your heyday were there during an average snooker season, would you say?
5.
5.
Times have changed. There are so many these days, aren't there? Are there any particular players, I wanted to ask you, who I know you've worked with Ronnie, you mentored Ronnie a bit in the past. Any particular players you admire now and you'd like to play with or against?
Well, I was surprised to see Ronnie go out here, actually. I was hoping that he would win it, actually. No disrespect to our fellow professionals, but because of my own association with him, it'd be nice to present him with the trophy that they bestowed upon me from Wales, you know, yeah. But I mean, so many good players, you know. Trump is an amazing player.
Yeah.
How he hasn't won more games, I do not know. Well, I do know, but it's not open for discussion, that isn't, no. And there's Sean here, he's doing very, very well.
Yeah.
A former world champion.
Well,
I met him in my early days. Sean used to come down and have a game with me in Devon.
Oh, so you've coached him a bit?
Just a little bit. Yeah. He had 3 visits with me. Probably thought that was enough, perhaps.
I bet you'd love to. You know, you've had a fantastic career and everything, but I bet you would love to have your time again now on these tables, the way they play, with the way you played the game, and the way you struck
because
the ball.
it's a stroker's game.
Yes.
Yes, it's a caresser. You've got to be a nice soft touch, you know. If you notice today with Kyron, every ball he missed, he attacked. On the opening shot into the corner pocket.
We said that instead of stroking,
he's hitting the ball too hard.
He always does with the long game. He is a hard hitter of the ball, and we've seen that there today.
When you bring a hit into your action, your cue ball hits the ball fatter than you normally would judge it to hit, you know. So it pushes into it, in other words. You'd have to allow a fraction off to allow for that push into the ball. That's very difficult to do. Look, I never lost sitting down. It's easy to comment sitting here and everywhere in the auditorium, but yes, it's a very difficult game, made to look easy by the standard of play.
You are looking very well, Ray. It's lovely to see you, and we look forward to seeing you presenting that Ray Reardon Trophy to the winner this evening.
I'm all right from the neck up.